Welcome back. You're watching Brandverse. On this edition of Brandverse, we're catching up with another leader in tech. Kirthiga Reddy is a prominent technology executive, venture investor, and co-founder and CEO of OptimizeGEO, an AI-driven trust and verification platform. Widely recognized as a pioneer in global tech ecosystem, she was, in fact, one of the first few employees of Facebook and the managing director of Facebook India, where she successfully scaled operations from ground up. She later made history as the first female investing partner at SoftBank Vision Fund, managing a multi-billion-dollar portfolio in frontier technologies. An MBA graduate from Stanford University and former WeWork board member, Reddy is a leading voice in artificial intelligence, venture capital, and diversity, frequently recognized by Fortune India as one of country's most powerful women in business. Today with us, she's speaking about the shift from traditional search to AI-driven discovery, why brands need to be visible inside AI-generated answers. Let's listen in. Kirthiga, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Extended cricket season this year, what is the biggest shift, you've seen in consumer attention and media consumption over the past couple of months?
I think one big thing to note is who were the title sponsors for IPL. And I think that is a big shift in itself. Google AI Mode was the title sponsor. And this is a place that traditionally FMCG brands, fintech brands have taken. So it's remarkable to see that an AI platform was the key sponsor there. And it's talking about how important these platforms are in today's world. So that's part one. Part two is what we saw is that while IPL still buys reach and attention, it doesn't always get you to be the answer in these LLM platforms. And we found that when there were brands in the same category on IPL, they would actually appear differently in AI answers. And it were those brands that had both the IPL sponsor strategy, but also in conjunction an LLM strategy to make sure that they were relevant and visible in LLM search that won both the attention as well as the answer.
Now, Kirthiga, as someone who has set up Facebook in India, if you could give marketers one rule to stay relevant over the next 3 years, what would it be?
Where your consumers go, brands need to go. And that's where we are seeing, we saw the shift at that time to social and mobile. And it was a privilege and a joy to work with the leaders in the industry and new companies that they created on social and mobile to help them connect with consumers. So now you have this next consumer shift where, you have 1 billion plus people on these platforms. And so brands need to be there. That's one. Two, they need to be there in ways that are relevant to them. There was the whole world of, short video and the like. Now it is about the questions that people are asking, making sure you understand what they're asking and know that there's this whole, you go from awareness to a purchase decision, all in a matter of asking a few questions, and you have the whole rise of the zero-click buyer behavior. So how can you be there? Because if you're not there in those answers, you're forgotten by the modern consumer.
Now, since you mentioned brands should follow where consumers go, from Facebook era to the AI era, what's the biggest shift in how consumers discover brands today?
They are asking very deep, very relevant question. You might go to ChatGPT and you'll see questions like, what is the best product for sensitive skin for a teenager that can be used on a daily basis? There's a lot of information in there, right? The context that you have about your consumer is much deeper than what you used to get in the keywords world. So making sure that you're taking advantage of that relevant, rich information about what it is that the user is asking for in those many more words than the keyword side. And then making sure that you have a consistent strategy across content creator, media, pricing, positioning your site to make sure that you are appearing across those questions that are really important to your user base.
Now tell us, has the definition of digital relevance completely changed in the last decade?
So this is really about being relevant across those different moments and having continuous conversation, across these moments, and even looking at what are your longitudinal measurement studies. You spoke about the early days of Facebook. I remember a time where people used to measure the efficacy of Facebook based on the number of likes, right? And that moved very quickly to more classic measures around reach, frequency, and what it does to brand and business metrics. So you're going to see a similar evolution in today's world. Today, attribution is still broken. There's a lot of innovation that needs to be had to go from what are you doing to gain AI visibility to then how it measures on brand and business metrics. And we're working with some of the leading brands to have those longitudinal studies to make sure that we have that tight loop across what they're doing on AI visibility to how it goes brand and business metrics.
Are marketers still using yesterday's metrics to solve today's problems?
Absolutely. And we have seen that consistently across these technology transformations. And people who leapfrog and say, this is where my consumers are, I need to be there, and I will figure things out along the way, are the ones who leapfrog and make sure that they're on the winning side of these technology disruptions, Shivani.
And then, how should brands also rethink when attention spans are shorter than ever today?
Make sure that you are part of the answer and know that the answer is being triangulated based on what it is that is being said by your own content. Um, in the last few years, people have almost lost that focus on organic content. It is time to bring that back about what is the brand saying about your own content, and then also marry that up very closely to what is it that is being spoken about you on Reddit, on by the influencers, in all of the user survey sites, and know that your AI answers are picking up from across all of this information.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks again for joining us today on ET Now.